So the first thing I have for you here is a bag that's almost bear proof.
Oh.
It's made out of a really tough material. It feels like a fabric, but it's basically a type of Kevlar. So it's almost bear proof. They used to call it bear proof. Then a few of the big grizzlies managed to find a way to puncture it, and so now they no longer say bear proof, but it's very bear resistant. It works if you use it correctly, like anything else. So your food goes down inside this bag. It has to be tied shut in a very particular way.
Yeah, I'm noticing that the ropes are crossing over.
And that's important. It has to be like that. So then you have to tighten it up really tight. So I'm going to pull one of the ropes really snug. I'm going to pull the other one really snug. I'm going to pull both of them together, trying to make that tiny hole there as minuscule as possible. Then you have to tie it doing what I call a surgeon's knot. It's just like an overhand knot, like you're tying your shoe, but you loop it back around a second time. And you pull that really, really tight, really tight. Then we're going to do the same thing again. Surgeon's knot a second time, once around, twice around, and voila. Now, it's mostly rodent proof. It's possible a tiny little mouse could still get into that hole. So you've got to do your very best to close that hole up as much as possible. But it's pretty bear resistant like it is right here. Only thing is, there's nothing to prevent a bear from just grabbing it and wandering off with it, like take it back to its den and eat it over the winter or something, right? So we have to tie it to something that is, the bear can't move, the bear can't take with them. So let's use this branch over here to do that. So you can help me out by just holding this, Allison. Can you also see what I'm doing while you're holding it? Okay, we're going to tie what's called a figure 8 knot. It's pretty simple. I'm going to start off by making a loop with the working in coming out underneath, under the bottom. You see that? And then I'm going to take that working in, wrap it over the top, and then I'm going to poke it up through the original loop. That's the whole thing right there. It's called a figure 8 knot because after I tighten it up, it looks like an 8.
Oh, look at that.
The great thing about this knot, now this bear can't take the whole tree with it. So even though it's a small tree, the food is pretty safe there. This knot will not come loose. The more somebody pulls on it, if the bear's trying to get at it, no matter where it's pulling, tugging, whatever, the knot's just going to get tighter and tighter. It's not going to come undone.
Nice.
So that food's pretty safe.
Sweet.
And then one other option that we have is a bear canister. This is made out of a polycarbonate material. So it's a super hard plastic. Again, they used to call these bear proof, and then a bear proved them wrong by managing to get a canine tooth through the lid or something. So it's very, very bear resistant, almost bear proof. And there are some parks, especially out west, national parks, where this is required because it's the safest way to store your food. It's also bulky and heavy, takes up a lot of room in your backpack. So it's not necessarily the favorite way to do it, but it is very effective at saving your food. The way it works is this lid goes on, and it just screws down tight. It gets to a point where it stops, and then when I go further, it clicks.
Oh yeah, I heard that.
You hear that click? There's actually a double click. So what's happened, so there are 2 little knobs right there. It's kind of like trying to open an aspirin bottle. So when I turn back, it stops at that knob. So to open it, I have to press down and turn it at the same time to get it past it. And I have to do that twice. Now, bears are really smart, but they have not figured out how to do that, and they have not gotten lucky enough to randomly do that successfully in 2 different places. So then I can take it off, access my food, my toiletries, everything that I have stored in this canister. Again, there's nothing to keep a bear from like batting this around and making it roll down the hill. So you want to make sure you remember where you put it. You want it to be away from your campsite. All of these things, when you're storing your food, you want it to be 100 to 200 feet away from your campsite. In essence, about 70 adult steps is a pretty good range. And you want to make sure you put it someplace where you can find it again, of course. And try not to put it somewhere near a ledge, because if a bear does bat it around and it goes rolling off, you've lost your food anyway. Maybe the bear doesn't get it, but you have. Last thing about this is actually kind of awesome. When you've got the lid screwed on all the way, it doubles as a camp stool.
Oh, look at that. Very cool. Awesome. Well, thanks, Nancy. I appreciate you showing me those tips.
Are you ready to go backpacking?
Let's do it.
All right.